Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Chuck Donovan, and I am the principal over at Central, and I'm thrilled to be presenting tonight with Charles Chagon, who is our PTA president, Bernadette Dorr, who is one of our two school force representatives over at Central, and Karen Haas-Falletta, who is joining us from Footsteps. So we're going to get started tonight. Presentation is about 15 minutes or so, 15, 20, just about, and then we'll have some time for Q&A at the end, and so we should be wrapped up around 7:30 or so. All right. So let me welcome you to Central Elementary School in Belmont-Redwood Shore School District. First, I'd like to start off with a little bit of BRSSD overview about some of the goals that we've had the last few years since I've been in the district. School year 1920 was about fostering responsible global citizenship. Our goals for last year were about equitable outcomes, and the focus this year is on collective efficacy. So the idea of, we've been through some challenging times. How do we as a community come together to support each other and help raise the bar and do our best work? So just some basics about Central, the structure of it and how everything works. We have one administrator, and that's me, two front office staff who are wonderful, Joan Durston and Nancy Diaz, and they are just amazing. And we also have a nurse, however, that can fluctuate based on needs at the site, but we do have a nurse and foresee having a nurse throughout the next few years. We have 3 kinder classes that are at 25 apiece, 3 first grade, 3 second grade, and 3 third grade classes, and all of those cap at 25. As we get into the upper grades, we have 2.5 fourth grade classes and 2.5 fifth grade classes, and those are at 30 students apiece at the max. How is there a half fourth and a half fifth grade class, you ask? That is because we have what is a combo class, which is a part fourth, part fifth grade class and requires very skilled teachers to be able to do it, but they do a great job with it. We have a part-time speech pathologist, irony, a psychologist, and a guidance counselor on staff. We are a staff of about 30 and roughly 430 students. So this is my first year at Central, and I absolutely love it. I often tell people that I won the administrator lottery by landing this job. And the reason is because of the community and the staff. And that has really, I've felt it all year long, but we've really experienced it the last few weeks where we are, weathering the surge about as well as possible. And that's because of the amazing community and their support and their patience, as well as the amazing staff. And I'm not just saying that because I'm the principal. I truly believe that. So I'm going to go over Central's mission statement and how ultimately this connects and kind of sets the umbrella for the work that we try to do with our kindergarten students. At Central Elementary, we strive daily to cultivate a community of responsible learners who feel empowered to direct their own learning, inspired to be curious, engaged with their community, and moved to show empathy and respect to others. We are committed to creating collaborative and innovative learning experience through which students develop critical thinking skills, achieve or surpass the Common Core standards, and develop lifelong learning habits and positive mindsets. I just want to highlight a couple of the most important things about this mission statement to me. Students feeling empowered to direct their own learning. I think that some of the best learning happens when students are able to be the engines of their own ships and really, the teachers kind of set the playing field, but allow the students to explore that playing field in their own topics and interests. And I think that's where the best learning comes from. And so we really try to instill that at Central. That curiosity is enormously important. And then the other one I want to highlight is the critical thinking skills. And what I often think about and the idea and the goals of school and how we are preparing students for the future is we don't know what the world is going to look like 20 years from now, but what we can do is provide students with the proper skills and content to be able to navigate that world. So how does that all connect with Kinder? So the Kinder mission statement is to focus on the whole child, academically, emotionally, socially, and physically. There are opportunities to play, make social connections, become independent and responsible, and explore their creativity. At BRSSD and at Central, we have phenomenal academics. So I rarely worry about the academic piece coming for our students. We have great academics. We have great interventions and support systems to help set up our struggling students. students. We have great enrichment opportunities for our more advanced students. So I really feel super strongly and proud of the great academics that we have at Central. But most importantly is the social emotional well-being of our students, because if they're feeling good and they've got a good attitude, they're going to do their absolute best learning. And so we take it first and foremost, the most important thing is to make sure that our students are cared for and supported in all that they do. So I'm going to walk you through what a typical kindergarten day looks like. And this is a sort of general schedule, but I'll kind of walk you through it. So from the kindergarten day lasts from 8:25 to 1:30. And so typically in the morning of a kindergarten day, they will do the English curriculum, which is Lucy Calkins Readers and Writers Workshop out of the Teachers College in New York. The math curriculum is the Houghton Mifflin math expressions, and then the phonics program is Super Kids. So that typically occupies the morning. Students will have a snack and recess in the morning, and then they have lunch from 11:30 to 12:10. It is just a isolated kinder lunch and recess, and throughout snack in the morning as well as during their own lunchtime. So at 12:10, they head back to class, and they typically have some combination in the afternoon of social studies or art and exploration and constructive play that's in there. Typically in the afternoon as well, there is our social emotional curriculum, which is second step. And we also have a guidance counselor on site that I mentioned before, and she often pairs with the teachers to teach that curriculum. We are also a PBIS school, which means that we have the positive behavior intervention system, which we really try to instill and help our students to be responsible, respectful, and safe students. And we call this the Dolphin way. And so there's a variety of expected behaviors that go with this. But, one of the things I really like about the PBIS program is that, when I was growing up, if you did what you did what you were expected to do or what you were told to do. And if you didn't, you got in trouble. Well, one of the really nice things about PBIS is it really acknowledges students for just following the expectations that we've laid out for them. So it's an acknowledgement of all the good work that they're doing by following the expectations. So it's a little bit of a flip, but I really like that. So students are in class from 8:25 to 1:30, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesdays are a minimum day, and so that day gets out at 12 for kinders. The rest of the school gets out at 12:20. So just a heads up on that. All right, so we often get questions about how can I get my student ready for kindergarten? So after talking to the kindergarten teachers, they suggested to practice the alphabet, start to develop or have them do small chores at home to really start helping build a little bit of independence, because that's ultimately where they're going and what they're going to be expected to start doing in kindergarten. So some small ways to start that are by dressing themselves. Doing their own seatbelt in the car, that's a big one, as we all at Kitty Valet really appreciate, as well as packing their own backpacks and remembering to bring it from A to B. All right, so how do I get to this amazing place? So there are two different options. You can come to the in-person registration day at Ralston on January 26th from 1:30 to 7, or you can make an appointment on the district's website, and that would be sometime after the 26th if you missed that date. All right, so another super great thing about Central is that we have a wonderful volunteer community and support from School Force and PTA. Some of the different ways that you can help are by being a room parent. We have people that come in and teach mini lessons in the classroom or might support with some small group academic work. Yard duty supervision is a big one. We always need help with that. Field trips, and there's many more opportunities depending on what events are happening that year. And so on. So without going any further, I am going to turn the floor over to Charles and Bernadette from School Force. Or Charles from PTA and Bernadette from School Force. Sorry about that.
Bernadette, you first.
Sure. My name is Bernadette. I am one of two School Force representatives at Central. So School Force is an education foundation that helps to raise money for our school and for all of the schools in the BRSSD. And the reason we do that is because the funding from the state isn't really sufficient to provide a super education for our kids. So we raise money for things like art and music, librarians, library books, all the kinds of things that you might think would be expected of a normal public education, but actually aren't provided. There are lots of ways that you can get involved. You're looking forward to kindergarten several months in advance of even enrolling, so this is probably not even on your radar screen, but it's a great way to get involved in from the get-go in your child's education at BRSSD. Something that's beyond just Central, but Central is a really wonderful place. I'll use that as transition to you, Charles.
Just advance the slide, Chuck, please. So I'd like to welcome all of you. My name is Charles Schong. I'm serving as president of Central PTA this year. I just want to reiterate what Bernadette has said about how School Force is an important contributor towards funding the high quality education in our students' lives. We share that mission, and some of the ways in which we help with that is we give monies to pay for field trips and assemblies. Those are very important educational experiences for our children. Chuck, if you go to the next slide, please. The next one after that. We also make sure our teachers are well armed with enough funds so that they can decorate their classrooms appropriately, make it a welcoming place, to pay for any books that they feel are appropriate in their classrooms. And we also make sure that every child starts out the first day with the exact same school supplies that are needed for everyone. So if you are an incoming kinder parent, you don't have to worry this summer about going to Target or the stationery to get things for your child. That is something that PTA will provide, and everyone will have the exact same thing on the first day. In addition to making a high quality education experience for our kids, Central PTA also has the mission of community building, which in practical terms means renewing friendships among ourselves, putting on events so that we can all gather together and express how I care about your children as much as I care about my own. Now, if you go to the next slide, please. So up until this point, I think everything I've described about how Central PTA fits into the puzzle is largely similar to how other unit PTAs would operate at other schools. So I just want to take a few moments to relay to you how Central PTA is special to me personally. When I started out at Central about 5 years ago, most of the volunteer work and time was on the backs of a small group of super moms. And I think you know what I'm talking about when you can imagine a small number of women who spent all their time on campus and were chiefly responsible for making a lot of things happen. And as I've spent time at Central, I've seen this change in our community where these super moms to rely on are becoming a scarcer and scarcer population. It's more important now than ever before that each one of us as working parents give some time and attention as well. So from time to time, I may ask you for donations and money, but moreover, I'll be asking more for your time and attention. And I want you to know that if you do join our Central PTA community, that your contribution, no matter how small it is, will always be significant and will always be appreciated. And I really hope to extend that appreciation to you as much as it has been shown to me. With that, another practical thing I want to bring up is the fact that there are a number of aftercare options available to your kindergarten kids when their day ends. We have one representative from one of the options here from Footsteps, Erin Haspaletta. I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm the executive director of Footsteps. We're a nonprofit organization. I think we're in our 27th year. We are on site at Cipriani, Nesbitt, and Redwood Shores, and then we're at Barrett Community Center. And at Barrett Community Center, we pick up kids from mostly Central and some kids from Fox. And we've been doing it for a long time. At Barrett Community Center, we can have 100 children, and our staff are trained to be van drivers so that their safety is very important. And it's a Spanish heritage program. So we'll pick up the kids from Central. Wait, let me go back. We're open before school. So if you want to drop your children at Barrett Community Center before school, we'll drive them to Central, make sure they get to their classrooms safely. And then after school, we pick them up. There's a great system with the school. They help us make sure that we have a place in line to be able to pick up our kids and pick them up in our vehicles. We have car seats for the children, and then we bring them back to Barrett. And then at Barrett, we have a rich curriculum that includes Spanish lessons, but a lot more than that. A lot of science and math and homework assistance, and mostly fun and healthy snacks. And so we are open till 6 o'clock. And then when the school is closed, we're open for full day care. And we also have summer camp programs. They're not at Barrett. For kindergarten children, we have swim camp at Cipriani happening this year, and Camp Footsteps at Nesbitt, and Camp Footsteps at Redwood Shores in Spanish. And on our website, which is footstepschildcare.org, there's a new document that just got put up today that tells everything you need to know about enrolling a kindergarten child in our program. And I'm happy to answer any questions when we finish. Thank you so much for having me. Oh, and thank you for putting up. I didn't get that far. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Karen. At this point, that is the end of our presentation. Happy to take some questions from the audience.